everyone, and I'd like to thank you for coming to my third installment of the overall scheme. Overall topic is diabetes and diabetes awareness. So my name is, again, is Stephen Collins, and today we're going to be talking about diabetic-friendly restaurants and whether or not they should have their own, on the menu, their own diabetic, easy to pick choices. So as a review, what we talked about last time was, again, in the concept of restaurants and diabetes. Last time I talked about how diabetics can go out to eat and dine at restaurants, and it's not something that they can only eat, at their homes. And knowing the nutritional content of food makes it easier for them to select their meal. Just because something has, it says, something's a high calorie meal doesn't mean that it's going to spike their blood sugar. For example, many of the calories can be due to the protein or fat or one of the other macronutrients. And that portion control is key. Make sure you don't overindulge in anything. Take home half of what you are served, things like that. Okay, so back in 2010, the president signed a healthcare reform law. Basically, it states that restaurants with 20 or more locations are required on the menu to have their caloric intake for that specific menu. For example, this is Chipotle, and right behind the counter you can see, based on what the food is, how many calories that particular item has, which is advantageous, which is mainly for, again, the obesity epidemic. Studies have shown that when people see how many calories are in a particular item, on average, the deficit of calories in the day, people are more likely to reduce their caloric intake by over 110 calories in a given day. Also, the law states that like all of the nutrition information is available upon request, but a lot of people don't know that. Not only don't know that they can request those things, they also don't know who to ask, where to go for that specific information. The other things being like the total fat, sodium, carbs, which is one of the main things, carbs and sugars that a diabetic should know, protein, and this is an example of, although it's very small print, it has the information like that. The foods here, the milligrams and grams of the item there. So here's some facts about Americans. Overweight Americans, about a third of the population are overweight. Obese, not including this number is not the difference between these two. This is just obese by itself, and this is just overweight by itself. So together, you would add those to get the total population of Americans. Again, hypertensive is also up there with nearly a third of adults 20 years of age or older are hypertensive. And the diabetic population is only about 3.5% of all Americans. And this is including children and adults. So not nearly as much as the others. So here are some examples of restaurants and what they're doing to create low-calorie meal options. And the low-calorie is mostly for the obese and the overweight individuals. So Applebee's is a huge restaurant. They're everywhere. They have their great tasting under 550 calories. IHOP has their Simple and Fit, which is under 600 calories per entree. Cheesecake Factory, Skinnylicious menus are under 590, and Denny's has their Fit Fare, which they offer lower calories and lower fats. Much like the low calorie, there's also low sodium, which is key for those who have hypertension. And according to the Registered Dietitians of America, A sodium savvy meal would be 750 milligrams or under per entree, and 250 per appetizer. And these are just some examples of what those meals would look like. The Cracker Barrel has sodium of 300 milligrams. Red Lobster has a mahi mahi dinner for 470, and then the Denny's Grilled Chicken Deluxe Salad, provided that there's no extra salad dressing and things of that nature, is 530 milligrams. Whereas diabetes are not as prevalent in most Americans, as I showed in the previous slide. There aren't nearly as many options and menus out there that cater to diabetics and low carb options. In-N-Out being one of them, they have their protein style, which basically you just order a burger and it just comes with, instead of a bun, which is all carbs, which again spikes the blood glucose levels. It's the meat patty wrapped in a lettuce. However, this is what a menu would look like above the counter, and nowhere does it say protein style. So again, I mean, if you would have never, perhaps assuming you didn't know this before, if I never told you, you probably wouldn't know, but I'm sure most of you already know that there's a protein style. Yeah, so if you ask the person taking your order, you say protein style, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. However, it's not on the menu. And Ruby's Diner also has a Delightful, which does the same concept. Takes out the bun and wraps it in a lettuce wrap. There are some other restaurants out there that have this low carb options, but they're not nearly as many as the low calorie or low sodium options. So to switch gears here, restaurants, many diners have kids menus, which offer lower price and much lower quantity per menu. So the question is, why don't they have low carb menus, or why can't adults order off of the kids menu when that's a heavy topic? So I also have there's a lot of restaurants out there on specific days of the week, or it's someone's birthday or whatever. They have kids are allowed to eat free with the purchase of a paying adult. Now, the reason that I found was that the restaurants, let's just say for easy numbers, easy math there, the restaurants pay $1 into a kids menu, and that they're technically losing that $1 because kids eat free. But if they're charging $10, $15 for an adult meal, then they're able to make that as profit. So just to think about easy ways that restaurants can make their more diabetic friendly would be to do some of these simple things, like having sugar-free desserts. I know at the hospital I work at, we have sugar-free ice cream. No carbs, no calories, just that obviously won't spike your blood sugar level. Sugar-free cookies are also a good alternative. Smaller portions for adults. Again, why can't an adult order off the kids menu? If that's all they want, they should be able to pay half the price for half the food. It makes sense. Other ways is just something simple. Mashed potatoes. For an example, mashed potatoes full of starch, spikes the glucose. Cauliflower is relatively the same texture, taste, but it doesn't spike your glucose levels nearly as much. Offer more diet sodas. These are just simple ways to increase the awareness and allow the diabetics to frequent at your restaurant. Again, to offer diet sodas which have 0 calories, 0 carbs. It won't do much to your blood sugar levels. instead of regular soda, and of course light beer, regular than because that's beer in itself is just all carbohydrates, not good stuff. So okay, now we're gonna have a little Q&A. I unfortunately do not have anything for you guys anything written down, so we are going to have these first two tables. The first question up here. The middle one, if you would read this one, and then the last three, you guys can all get together and read the third one and get some combined ideas, and then we'll discuss it in 1 minute, if you don't mind. Thank you. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know if they have
Pisses me off when I can't get
15 more seconds.
kids stuff and I don't really want to do a lot. And then at the end,
Actually, all like the don't have small portion be okay.
good talk.
Okay. Brittany.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think what they should do is allow adults purchase the kids meals, because I know that's a big issue. Or they should offer smaller portions for a lesser price. Though I feel like restaurants won't do this because they are losing money.
Correct. I would love to get the rest of everyone's, but unfortunately I'm running out of time. So here's a quiz for everyone. Literally, it's meaning Americans are diabetic because they are overweight. False. Correct. Sorry. There's many carbs in diet soda as regular soda.
False.
And if you do, if something has little calories, it must be good for you.
False.
Something to think about. Would you consider taking a stand and writing to the politicians, asking them if it should be required to show carb content on menus?
Yes.
Okay. And are there any questions? Okay, great. Thank you very much.